And welcome to the Arcata Ballpark here for the first game of the Humboldt Invitational Tournament. Tournament featuring 4 teams, the Humboldt Crabs, the Alameda Merchants, the Auburn Wildcats, and the Solano Mudcats. And this is game number 1 of the 9-game tournament. As today we've got the Alameda Merchants and the Auburn Wildcats going at it here in this first game. Good afternoon, everybody. Kevin Wyatt here. As Alameda taking their warm-up pitches, and we'll give you the starting lineup for the Auburn Wildcats. Sam Lee Curtis will be leading off. He's in center field, followed by Taylor Garcia, the second baseman. The third hitter, Ethan Joyce, is at shortstop, and the designated hitter, Jack Vesey, is batting cleanup. In the fifth hole, left fielder Jake Faulkner, and batting sixth, Kyle Dixon. He's at third base. Taylor Field, the catcher. In the seventh hole, Davis Rodrigo batting eighth at first base, and the right fielder, Austin Blacknick, is batting ninth. And they'll be facing Patrick McKnight of the Alameda Merchants. So the Merchants, the designated home team today, even though they're in the first base side of the dugout. Of course, the Crabs, during their games, occupy the third base side, and normally that is the home side, but the two teams kind of mixed it up, and it'll be Auburn leading off here, and Sam Lee Curtis to start. So Sam Lee Curtis to start things off, facing Patrick McKnight. And the first pitch in there for a strike, a fastball in the outside corner, and it is 0-1. Curtis, let's take a look and see what he's done on the summer. Curtis is hitting .437, so an outstanding start. That's going to be a little grounder up to second, and unable to make the play as it ticks underneath his glove is going to be Luke Huerta. Luke Huerta, the same Luke Huerta who played for Berkovich last night, but he's going to pick up the error. So an error on Luke Huerta. As it was a slow ground ball, was a difficult play, but one he should have made. And that'll bring up Taylor Garcia. So Taylor Garcia stepping in on the error at second base by Luke Huerta. So, yes, Luke Huerta played at second base in last night's game. The next pitch swung on and fouled back by Taylor Garcia, and it is no balls and 1 strike. So, Sam Curtis, normally a very good hitter, didn't need any help getting on base, but he got it. Was a .437 hitter coming into this game. And Garcia also hitting very well, .323 on the summer. No home runs, 8 runs batted in. And a throw over to first to chase back Curtis. He is back in time. Let's take a look at Curtis's running numbers. And yeah, there's a reason why they were throwing over to him. 12 out of 17. 12 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times, so 12 for 17. Another throw over to first as Patrick McKnight really keeping an eye on him. And the next pitch is going to be a bit low, and that'll even things up 1 ball and 1 strike. So Alameda, kind of a split team right now. They've had some Division I guys already leave to go back to their respective colleges. They have a few players playing down in Healdsburg. And otherwise, they've got the rest of the guys here. And that's why they had to call in Luke Huerta from Berkovich. Had a prior relationship. That swung on, hit foul down the right field line. Is going to carry out of play. And that makes the count 1-2. Yeah, Luke Huerta had a relationship already with the coaching staff of Alameda. So they were just able to give him a call. Hey, you want to stay in Arcata a few extra days? Sure, why not? Why wouldn't you want to stay in Humboldt a few extra days? So that is why he is playing at second base for Alameda so far. So Taylor Garcia up a 1-2 count, and the next pitch swung on and fouled back, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Garcia, overall, has walked as many times as he's struck out, so has solid numbers in that regard. 13 walks, 13 strikeouts. And the next pitch is a bit low, and it's even now 2-2. Garcia has a .436 on-base percentage, just to show how effective he has been in that number 2 hole. Although Sam Lee Curtis, who reached on the error to lead it off, has an on-base percentage of .528 as the throw over to first to chase back Curtis, and he is back in time. So, yeah, Curtis, 12 of 17 in stolen base attempts this summer for Auburn, and Patrick McKnight really keeping an eye on him. We'll get into his numbers in just a moment. That next pitch is in the dirt, so the count goes full. It's 3-2. Patrick McKnight making his 13th appearance and his 9th start of the summer. Has thrown 33 2/3 innings. Has struggled a little bit at 5.61 earned run average. Next pitch swung on and fouled back again. So give credit to Taylor Garcia really working the count. A reason why he has such a high on-base percentage. You get a .436 on-base percentage largely because you're able to be a tough out on the pitcher. If anything remotely close to the zone, you're at least able to foul away, keep yourself alive. It increases your chances of making it on base. The 3-2 pitch going on it is Curtis. Strike 3 called. No throw, however, so it'll be a strikeout. Taylor Garcia caught looking as Curtis steals second. So runner on second and 1 out, and that'll bring up Ethan Joyce. So Joyce up, runner on second and 1 out. No score here in the top of the first between Auburn Wildcats and the Alameda Merchants. We're just getting started, both for this game and for the Humboldt Invitational Tournament. Don't forget, your season passes are good for every game. So if you already have a season pass, or if you want to get 2 good baseball games in one day, that's a strike on the first pitch. It's 0-1. You want to see 2 good baseball games in one day, it's only one admission price, $9, but if you have a pass, you're already in, essentially. So some good baseball ahead of us here at the Arcata Ballpark today. The next pitch, instead, it's going to be a look over to second as he wants to chase back Curtis. So Curtis has decent speed out on the base paths, but Ethan Joyce trying to move him along as well. And the next pitch is a bit low and outside. It's 1-1. Ethan Joyce hitting .318 along with a .431 on base percentage. So really a lot of outstanding hitters to start off this lineup here for the Auburn Wildcats. The 1-1 pitch. That's fastball, but still a little high, and it's 2-1. Joyce has a home run, 21 runs batted in, looking to pick up number 22 on the summer. Has walked 14 times, but only struck out 8. Outstanding plate discipline, and we've seen it so far through these first 3 hitters. And the 2-1 pitch is inside 3-1, so McKnight's struggling a little bit. Again, has a 5.61 ERA in 33 2/3 innings this summer. Has given up 39 hits. Also has 35 walks, 24 strikeouts. So he does walk too many guys. And 2-3 record overall on the season. That's a strike right there, and that makes it a full count, 3-2. 1 out here, top of the first inning, no score. Sam Lee Curtis led off the inning by reaching on an error, made it to second on a steal on the strikeout pitch to Taylor Garcia, and now he's there at second, and Michael Cowan calling for time, and now we're ready to go again. So Ethan Joyce out of Southern Connecticut University, so coming a long way to play for the Auburn Wildcats. The next pitch is inside, ball 4, and then now it's first and second with 1 out, and that'll bring up Jack Vesey. So Vesey up. Vesey hitting .282. Does have 4 home runs and 24 runs batted in, so he's got a lot of power. Swings and misses at that first pitch, and it's 0-1. Really taking a lot of speed off that one was Patrick McKnight. And he got the first strike called. It's 0-1. Jack Vesey slugging .549. A .549 slugging percentage. That's good for third on the team. The strike one pitch on the way, and it is a breaking ball in there for a strike, and McKnight ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. No score. Patrick McKnight comes from Cal State East Bay, a Division II school in Hayward. Originally used to be called Cal State Hayward, but they changed it to Cal State East Bay. Nice campus. I got to go there and do an HSU softball game, or actually a softball series, a couple of years ago, and really nice part of the Bay Area if you want to get away from the glitz and glamour of San Francisco. That pitch is in the dirt, and nice save behind home plate by Cash Satnett, keeping the runners at bay. So yeah, Cal State East Bay, a nice school. Really, really nice campus they have there, and a solid Division II program. 1-2 pitch from McKnight, and a breaking ball stays just outside, and that evens things up at 2-2. McKnight wanted Vesey to really chase after that one. He would have had no chance to hit it, and Vesey, give him good credit, had good discipline at the plate not to go after that one, especially with 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. We'll do it again at 2-2. On deck is Jake Faulkner. But Vesey trying to put the Wildcats ahead here early on in the top of the first inning. Make life a lot easier for them going forward. And the next pitch, swung on and missed. So Vesey goes down on strike. Second strikeout for Patrick McKnight. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Jake Faulkner. So Faulkner up. Faulkner comes from San Francisco State University, the conference rival of Cal State East Bay. So Faulkner and McKnight have faced each other a few times before, I'm sure. Can't say that for exact certainty, but you got to figure that East Bay and San Francisco State, conference rivals, separated by only, well, how wide is San Francisco Bay? What, 10, 15 miles maybe? I guess so, maybe. Either way, that's all that separates really these two schools. And they play each other quite frequently in all sports, being conference members of the CC2A, the California Collegiate Athletic Association. The strike one pitch, and that's going to be high, and ducking down is Faulkner. That was a breaking ball that slipped away from McKnight. Wanted to get that one to bend in on the right-handed batter, and instead it caused Faulkner to have to duck. Base hits, actually, for the Auburn Wildcats, even though they have 2 runners on base. Sam Lee Curtis reached on an error, and Ethan Joyce walked. So McKnight otherwise has struck out 2 batters. And really the inning should be over if Luke Huerta made the play at second base. Next pitch is in the dirt. It goes to 2-1. So we've seen Cash Satnett really do a great job, at least here early on, in keeping everything in front of him. So 2-1 with 2 out. McKnight set at the belt. And out of the stretch he deals. That swung on and fouled back, just getting a piece of it was Faulkner. That evens things up. So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out, 2-1 here in the top of the first inning. No score. We're just getting started here at the Arcata Ballpark. Game 1 of this West Coast, not the West Coast Showcase, that was the last tournament. This is the Humboldt Invitational. So the Crabs having 2 tournaments during their playing season. We had the West Coast Showcase at the end of June, and now we have the Humboldt Invitational Tournament. The 2-2 pitch is going to hit Faulkner, and it's going to load the bases. So bases loaded. Joyce goes to second. Curtis goes to third on the hit batter to Jake Faulkner. That'll bring up Kyle Dixon. So Dixon up. Dixon from Chico State University. Another rival of the Bay Area school, San Francisco State's Cal State East Bay. So you got to figure that Dixon and McKnight may have faced each other before. The next pitch is swung on and fouled back, and it's 0-1. Again, we don't have numbers on it, but these are players from two schools that are very, very familiar with each other. For Patrick McKnight, as he has walked a batter, hit a batter, and allowed another one to reach on an error. Pitch is fouled away, and that puts him in the hole 0-2. For McKnight, that was the fourth batter that he hit when he hit Jake Faulkner. And the strike two pitch swung on and missed, so Patrick McKnight strikes out the side, but despite loading the bases, although he doesn't allow a hit, no runs, no hits, one error, and 3 left as we go to the bottom of the first inning. It is no score. Billy Johnson to lead things off for the Alameda Merchants as they're coming up to bat to begin the bottom of the first inning. And the first pitch is a fastball that stays inside, and it is 1 ball and no strikes. Hayden Piner getting the call today for the Auburn Wildcats on the mound. And the next pitch is in there for a strike. That evens things up, at 1-1. As Billy Johnson out of York College, and he swings and misses at the 1-1 pitch, and it is 1-2. Billy Johnson as the next pitch, and that's going to hit Johnson, so Hayden Piner starting things off by hitting the leadoff batter, and they say a mortal sin for a pitcher is not to walk the leadoff guy. Well, I imagine hitting the leadoff guy really doesn't bode much better. That'll bring up Luke Huerta. So Luke Huerta, and yes, if you have been listening to the last few Crabs games over the last couple of days, that's the same guy that played for Berkovich the last 2 nights. As Piner on the first pitch, a high fastball, and it is 1-0. It wasn't a pitch out, although it looked designed still to get the catcher out of his crouch and throw down to second, but it wasn't like way out of the strike zone like you'd normally see on a pitch out. Either way, the catcher, Taylor Field, is ready to fire off at any instant. That next pitch is going to be a bit low, and it's 2-0. So Billy Johnson at first base, and Looks like there aren't any numbers on him. The next pitch, and it is a bit low, and it's 3-0. So we don't have any numbers. He might be making his first appearance, at least for the Merchants this summer. So we don't know exactly what his speed is. Does come from York College. The next pitch is a strike, and it is 3-1. So Luke Huerta out of Azusa Pacific University down in Southern California, an outstanding school over in the San Gabriel foothills. And a throw to first and back in time is Johnson. Of course, in football, Humboldt State and Azusa Pacific are big rivals. They're actually the only two football-playing schools in California at the Division II level. Next pitch, and that's popped up left side of the infield. Calling for it is Ethan Joyce, makes the catch, and that's the first out. So Huerta pops out to short, and that'll bring up Michael Echavia. So Johnson still at first, Echavia up. The next pitch swung on and foul back and out of play, and it is 0-1 the count. So Echavia starting in right field today for the Merchants. And the next pitch, and going on it is Johnson, and that's going to skip into center field, so it's stolen base plus an error on the catcher. As Taylor Field tried to nail him down at second, but instead of throwing it into center field. So Johnson goes all the way to third on the stolen base plus error on the catcher. So Echavia up, 0-2 the count, and the next pitch. In the dirt, nice save by Field, so Field keeping the runner from trying to come in and score, as Billy Johnson seems to have decent speed down there. And the next pitch off the plate again, and evens things up at 2-2. And the next pitch, a chopper down the left field line and goes foul, so we'll still do it at 2-2. And the next pitch swung on and hit in the air to shallow left field. Going out a trio of Wildcats, and coming in will be the left fielder Jake Faulkner. Tagging up but having to retreat is Billy Johnson on a good throw from Faulkner in left field. Also made a good play to have to call off his two other fielders to catch that one. And that's the second out. So Echavia flies out to left, and that'll bring up Michael Jenkinson. So Jenkinson up, comes all the way from the University of Hawaii Hilo. First pitch swung on and foul back. And it is 0-1. And the next pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. So 0-2 the count. Next pitch swung on and fouled away. And we'll do it again. It's no balls and 2 strikes. And the next pitch But off the plate, it's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled back, and we'll do it again at 1-2. So Hayden Piner, after allowing a runner to get the third on a stolen base plus a throwing error, trying to keep him from coming in once and for all. Piner on the year, we haven't gotten to his numbers yet, has a 3.54 earned run average in 33 innings. The next pitch is swung on and missed, so Piner gets out of the inning, leaving a runner at third. And Billy Johnson, after getting hit by a pitch to lead things off, made it to third, but otherwise was stranded there. And we'll go to the top of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, a hit batter, one person left as we go to the top of the second. No score. Taylor Field to lean things off, and he promptly lines that one up the middle for a base hit. So Field getting things started here to begin the second inning, where the leadoff single didn't even have a chance to really introduce him. As Field from Winona State leads off with a single. So as Field starts things off quickly with a single, here's Davis Rodrigo. Rodrigo on the first pitch is a bit low, and it's 1-0. So that pitch swung on and fouled away. So 1-1 the count to Davis Rodrigo. And the next pitch swung on and fouled away again, and 1-2. So what we're seeing a lot from these Auburn Wildcat hitters is they're fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch, and that's just making life incredibly difficult for Patrick McKnight, the pitcher for Alameda. As Davis Rodrigo hitting 180 on the season, on the summer at least. That's going to be a grounder over to third, picking that up and making the throw over to second, but it gets away. And going down to third is going to be Taylor Field. So it's going to be a fielder's choice and an error, as it was just a wild throw by Colt Partial. So Colt Partial commits the error. E5. Actually, fielder's choice and E5 if you're scoring at home. So fielder's choice E5. And runners down the corners. So Austin Blatnick out of Sierra College to step in as Runners are on the corners, nobody out, and the first pitch, a breaking ball for a strike, and it is 0-1. So Blatnick. And the next pitch is a bit low, and it's 1-1. Doesn't seem like we have any. Oh, yes, we do. Blatnick is a .322 hitter so far this season. He pokes that one into right field for a base hit. So coming in to score will be Taylor Field, and stopping at second is Rodrigo on the RBI single by Austin Blatnick, and the Auburn Wildcats lead the Merchants 1-0. So RBI single for Austin Blatnick, Sam Lee Curtis stepping in. Curtis is 0 for 1. He reached on an error to start things off in the top of the first inning, stole second, and was able to make it to third. But was otherwise stranded there. Wildcats left the bases loaded in the top of the first inning, and they're hoping to, well, they did score already, but they're hoping to get a lot more out of it, especially with all the first three batters, I should say, reaching base to start the inning. So Sam Lee Curtis out of Sierra College. A lot of good baseball talent at the community college level. Showing bunt as Sam Lee Curtis pulls it back, swings away, pops it up right side of the infield, calling for it is Byron Buckley, makes the catch, and that's the first out. So Curtis pops out to first, and that'll bring up Taylor Garcia. So Garcia, he's 0 for 1, struck out in the top of the first inning. And even though the Wildcats loaded the bases, McKnight was able to strike out the side. So runners on first and second, one out. First pitch swinging is Garcia, and it's fouled away, and it's 0-1. So Garcia out of Westmont College. Looking to pick up his runner. As we had mentioned, a .323 hitter, solid hitter, and 8 runs batted in on the season, and he's looking for at least number 9, and he can get it with a base hit. Strike one pitch is a bit low, and it's 1-1. The Wildcats and the Merchants to start off this Humboldt Invitational Tournament. The next pitch from McKnight, and that's a strike on the outside corner on a fastball. It's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strike, 1 out here in the top of the second inning. 1-0 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. And the next pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away. And we'll do it again at 1-2. So 1-2. And the next pitch, that's going to be grounded into left field for a base hit. Stopping at third is going to be Davis Rodrigo. So station to station, the Merchants, or the Wildcats, go. And the bases once again are loaded with 1 out. On the single by Taylor Garcia, that'll bring up Ethan Joyce. No batting. So Joyce up. The first pitch, and it's swung on and fouled back, and it is 0-1. Joyce walked in his first plate appearance, so still officially 0 for 0 on the day. A walk is not an at-bat, just merely a plate appearance. means it doesn't count for or against your batting average. It's completely neutral. Same goes with being hit by a pitch and a sacrifice. The next pitch is on the outside corner, and it's a strike. It's 0-2. So Joyce with the bases loaded, 1 out. Wildcats lead the Merchants 1-0. And the next pitch, and that's swung on and fouled back, and we'll do it again. It's 0-2. So 0-2 the count with 1 out here in the top of the second inning, and the Wildcats trying to bring in all their runners with the bases loaded. The strike 2 pitch is a bit high, and it's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strike, and 1 out here. And the pitch from McKnight, and it's a bit high, so that evens things up at 2-2. So McKnight really has been fighting his command throughout the ball game. When he's on point, he's effective. He struck out all 3 batters, or all 3 outs in the first inning were strikeouts. Otherwise, he did load the bases, and in this instance, he's got the bases loaded again with 1 out. The next pitch, grounded foul toward the Wildcat dugout back at third base, and it's still 2-2. So 2-2. Here's the next pitch. And that's in the dirt. And runners have to hold as it did not get far enough away from Cash Satnett to allow any advancement. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. As Patrick McKnight out of the stretch, and here's his pitch. That's low and outside, ball 4. So a run comes in on the bases loaded walk to Ethan Joyce. It's 2-0 in favor of the Wildcats. And that'll bring up Jack Vesey. Next pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. So quickly in the hole is Vesey, although with the power he has shown, he can hit the ball a long way, although he's 0 for 1 today, striking out in the first inning. So 2-0 Wildcats lead. Hoping to blow this wide open here early on and give themselves a much easier time later on in the game. And the next pitch is swung on, hit in the air to left field, going back, still going back, and it is high off the fence. 2 runs will score. They're going to hold Ethan Joyce at third on the stand-up double by Jack Vesey. That's the power we were talking about. So Blacknick comes in, as well as Taylor Garcia, and it's now 4-0 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. So Jack Faulkner up, and the first pitch to him missed 1-0. And the next pitch is on its way, and it's a bit outside. 2-0 the count. So 2-0 the count. And then the next pitch, once again, he misses on it. Patrick McKnight, again, struggling with his command, and it's really cost him as he's put his team in a 4-0 hole here early on. And the next pitch, off the plate, ball 4, and that loads the bases once again. A 4-pitch walk for Jake Faulkner. And that'll bring up Kyle Dixon, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. So Kyle Dixon up. Dixon is 0 for 1. He struck out to end the first inning. So looking for a little more success here. Well, the first pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. The next pitch swung on and fouled away. So Patrick McKnight charged with 4 runs so far, all of them earned despite the errors. The next pitch, and it's a bit low. It's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. As the Auburn Wildcats have really jumped out. And that's going to be a liner over to second, caught, but not in time to turn the double play. Great heads-up awareness, nonetheless, by Luke Huerta, as he really reacted well to the line drive and immediately went to second to try to get the double play. And luckily for the Wildcats, just hanging around second, close enough at least, was Jack Vesey. So Vesey able to get back to avoid being doubled up on the line out to second. That'll bring up Taylor Field, who led off this inning. So Taylor Field up, fouls away the first pitch, and it's 0-1. The next pitch on the way, and it's a bit high, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Taylor Field, led off the inning with a single, scored a run, so 1 for 1 with a run scored, and he's looking to add a couple of RBIs to that as well. 4-0 in favor of the Wildcats here in the top of the second inning. And a base hit here by Field would really blow the game wide open. The 1-1 pitch. That's going to be lined into center. Giving pursuit is Michael Jankerson, and he's not going to be able to catch up to it, and it's going to roll to the fence. All 3 runs are going to come in, and he's not stopping at second. He's going to go all the way to third, but he's going to be toast over there as he gets thrown out, does Field. Trying to go all the way for 3, but 3 runs do score, and that makes it 7-0 in favor of the Wildcats on the 3 RBI double. So that'll be a double, 3 runs batted in, along with 8-5 put out. As Taylor Field tried to stretch that into a triple and was thrown out. So 7 runs. Now let's count the base hits. On 4 base hits, there was 1 error, and there was 1 left as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 7-0. Dakota Connors to lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning for the Alameda Merchants, who have really put themselves in a hole as Patrick McKnight gave up 7 runs, all of them earned on 5 hits. Excuse me, on 4 hits in that inning, but 5 hits total on the game. Next pitch on the way, and that is a bit high. It's 1-1. Yeah, the next pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the 1-2 pitch, and that's fouled at the plate, and it's now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, and Dakota Connors takes it off the plate. Yeah, that evens things up at 2-2. So Dakota Connors, as the pitch is swung on and missed, and down he goes, out of Cal State East Bay himself. So Connors does not hang around long, strikes out. That's the second strikeout for Hayden Piner, and that'll bring up Byron Buckley. So Byron Buckley swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 0-1. So Buckley comes from Contra Costa Community College. It's in the Bay Area. There's actually a lot of talent baseball-wise at the community college level. The 1-1 pitch, and it's a bit low. It's 2-1. That's because the MLB draft rules are set up to kind of allow the community college level to have some pretty good talent. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and fell back, and it's even 2-2. Yeah, for the MLB draft, if you can enter in out of high school. You can enter the MLB draft straight out of high school. However, if you go to a 4-year university, you must wait 3 years after high school in order to re-enter. The 2-2 pitch, that's going to be a grounder up the middle, just past the outstretched glove of Taylor Garcia at second base and into center field for a base hit. So that's the first hit of the game for the Alameda Merchants, and they're hoping to see if they can do something here. Down by 7 early on, and that'll bring up Larry Cowart. Larry Cowart up with a 1-out single by Byron Buckley to put a runner at first with an out. So Larry Cowart out of Nicholls State. And that's a strike on the inside corner and is 1-1. As I was saying, though, if you enter the MLB draft or choose not to and go to a 4-year university, you must wait 3 years to re-enter. The next pitch is inside and throw down to first, and they get him. Outstanding throw by Taylor Field to nail the runner Byron Buckley at first. So pick off 2-3. And that makes it 2 out now. And the base is empty. It really changes the complexion of the inning completely. The 2-1 pitch is low and inside. It's 3-1. Anyway, completing my thought. If you enter to a 4-year college, you must wait 3 years to enter the draft. If you go to a community college, the 3-1 pitch has taking off for first as Cowart, but he's called back by Michael Cowan. So the count goes full 3-2. He thought it was outside, but it was a strike call. But yeah, if you go to a community college, you do not have to wait to enter the draft ticket. You can enter in each year, after each year of a community college play. So that's why you see a lot of talent at that level. Pitch was outside, ball 4, so Cowart aboard via the walk. So instead of 2 on and 1 out, It's 1 on and 2 out. And that's because of the pickoff throw by Taylor Field to nail Byron Buckley. And a swing and a miss by Colt Parshall, the third baseman, and it is 0-1. And the next pitch swung on and hit in the air to right field. It's going to carry out of play. And in the hole now is Colt Parshall. It's 0-2. So no balls, 2 strike, 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. 7-0, the Auburn Wildcats lead the Alameda Merchants here in Game 1 of the Humboldt Invitational Tournament. Next pitch, and swung on and fouled away. And it is 0-2. And the next pitch, it's going to be a grounder over to short, and just going the short way with it for the force out, Ethan Joyce. So a 6-4 force out to end the inning as the Merchants held scoreless once again. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 person left as we go to the top of the third inning, 7-0 Auburn. Davis Rodrigo to start things off as he is 0 for 1. He reached on an error in that second inning. And the first pitch bit off the plate. 1-0. Next pitch on the way. That's going to be lined into left field for a base hit. So Rodrigo aboard. He's been on base for the second time today now. And that'll bring up Austin Blatnick. So Blatnick up. Blatnick 1 for 1. He had an RBI single in the second inning. And the next pitch is a bit outside, and it is 1-0. So Blatnick trying to get his second hit of the game and continue the hit parade that the Wildcats have had, at least through the first 2+ innings. The next pitch is a bit low and outside. It's 2-0. So the next pitch, and off the plate, 3-0, and a throw down to first to chase back the runner, Rodrigo, and he is back in time. So Rodrigo has not attempted Oh, he has actually attempted one stolen base, but 0 for 1 in his attempts, so he's thrown out. Oftentimes when you see that number like 0 for 1, 0 for 2 over the course of a season, as that pitch off the plate, ball 4, usually it's because of like a busted hit and run play or something like that. But either way, ball 4 to Austin Blatnick. 2 on, nobody out, and that'll bring up Sam Lee Curtis. So Patrick McKnight certainly having his struggles. That's the 4th walk he has issued today. Yeah, and a foul back on the first pitch. So it's 0-1 to Curtis. Has been filing behind on the count a lot, and it just makes it a lot easier for a hitter to really square up because you know it's going to be closer to the strike zone to avoid having a walk issued. Popped up on the bunt, and that's just going to be caught behind the plate by catcher Cash Satnett, and that's the first out. So Sam Lee Curtis tries to bunt, which up by 7, I don't know why you would do that unless you really wanted to go for a base hit, but sacrificing up by 7 seems unnecessary, but either way, it is a pop out on the bunt, foul to the catcher. And there's one away that'll bring up Taylor Garcia. So Garcia, 1 for 2. He struck out, singled, scored a run. And the next pitch is in the dirt, and that makes it a 1-0 count. And the next pitch is a bit high, goes to 2-0. And the next pitch, and it's off the plate, and it is 3-0. Yeah, Patrick McKnight has already thrown 78 pitches, and we're just in the 3rd inning. Yeah, that pitch is in there for a strike. It's 3-1. So he's really been laboring each time out. So 3-1 the count. And the next pitch swung on and fouled back. And the count goes full. It's 3-2. So Garcia with runners on first and second, 1 out. It's Patrick McKnight really laboring through these first 3 innings. Again, 7 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error already for the Auburn Wildcats. No 1 hit, 2 errors for the Alameda Merchants. The 3-2 pitch inside and ball 4. So another walk. That's the 5th walk of the game for McKnight, and that explains why he's had so much trouble. As they say, numbers never lie, and looking at his pitching line so far, it's easy to see why the Wildcats have the lead this early on as they do. You can't walk 5 guys plus hit a batter and expect to have success, especially when you do that all by the 3rd inning. So Ethan Joyce now stepping in. First pitch swinging, hits a fly ball into right field. Coming up and making the catch out in right field is Michael Chavia. Throw down home as he tags up and scores. Does Rodrigo. And that makes it 8-0. So 8-0 as Davis Rodrigo scores on the scoring fly ball to right by Ethan Joyce. And that'll bring up Jack Vesey. So Vesey up after the first pitch was a strike. The next one in there actually misses. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Actually, no, just 1-0. as the pitch swung on and hit foul back behind the plate, and it's going to carry out of play. So 1-1 the count. As the bases were loaded, now it's first and third with 2 out after the scoring fly ball by Ethan Joyce. VC's 1 for 2. Struck out and then hit a double high. High off the left field fence. If it was another 6 inches higher, it would have been a home run. The 1-1 pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt. Gets away from Satnett, and coming in to score will be Blatnick. And going all the way to third, as there was a little miscommunication, going all the way to third is going to be Taylor Garcia. So Blatnick scores. Garcia goes to third on the wild pitch by McKnight. And it's now 9-0 in favor of the Wildcats. So 2-1 with 2 out. 9-0 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats in the next pitch. Swung on and grounded foul down the third base line. And that makes it deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. 9-0 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. And runners on the corners for Jack Vesey, or runner at third. There was runners at the corners before the wild pitch. Now it's a runner at third, the next pitch. That's going to be one hopped in the left field for a base hit right over the glove of third baseman Cole Parshall. So scoring on the play will be Garcia on the RBI single by Jack Vesey. It's now 10-0 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. And let's see if that'll do it for Patrick McKnight, as he's really been knocked around here in 2 2/3 innings. No one warming in the bullpen, so no, I guess not. Much like we saw from Berkovich baseball the last couple of nights, Alameda is really a small roster. Oh, they're going to bring a pitcher. He just wasn't in the bullpen, so they're bringing a guy out of the dugout. And we'll see who that is. It is Colton Landreth out of Northern State University. So Colton Landreth going to replace Patrick McKnight. And we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. So Colton Landreth out of Northern State, after Patrick McKnight went 2 2/3 innings. And that pitch is going to hit him, it seems like. Yeah. So Colton Landreth comes in and hits a batter right off the gate. And makes it first and second with 2 out, and this inning continues. This miserable inning on the part of the Merchants continues on. With 2 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. 10-0 in favor of the Wildcats. And the first pitch is a bit low. It's 1-0. And the next pitch is a bit low, and it's 2-0. So the 2-0 count. And that's a broken bat, a shattered bat. Grounder out to third, and bobbling it and picking it up, not throwing it in time to first is going to be Colt Partial, so that'll be an error. That'll be an error on Partial, so the inning continues as Jake Faulkner reaches on the air. It was a broken bat. He absolutely shattered his bat. Excuse me, that was not Faulkner. That was Kyle Dixon. And that'll bring up Taylor Field. Forgot to do last cup. Anyway, that'll bring up Taylor Field. And the next pitch misses the strike zone. So he's only thrown 1 strike. Otherwise, yeah, it's been 4 balls, 1 strike, 5 pitches total. Next pitch, a grounder into left for a base hit. So Dixon with a RBI single. The Wildcats go station to station, holding at third. Is VC scores. Going to third is Faulkner. Dixon to second on the RBI single by Taylor Field. So after the RBI single by Field, it is now 11-0. That run will be charged to Patrick McKnight. The next pitch to Rodrigo is a bit low, and it's 1-1. So Colton Landreth has thrown 8 pitches, and only 3 of them have been for strikes so far. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and it is 1-2. So 1-2, 2 out. And what has been a most miserable evening, or afternoon, I should say, here for the Alameda Merchants. So 11-0. The pitch from Landers swung on and fouled away, so we'll do it again. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out. Bases loaded. And 4 runs across already in this evening. 11-0 in favor of the Wildcats. And the next pitch. And that's going to be lined into left center field for base hit and go into the gap. And that's going to go all the way to the fence. 2 runs will score. They're going to wave around the third. That is going to be Field on the 3 RBI double by Davis Rodrigo. So Field comes in to score. Rodrigo now 2 for 2 in the inning. Yeah, he's had 2 at-bats. Actually, I shouldn't say 2. Yeah, he is 2 for 2 in the inning. And it's now 14-0 in favor of the Wildcats. So it continues on. 14 runs on only 9 base hits. That's what's surprising. And then, again, that's because of all the walks. And 3 errors also helping with that as well. The next pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. So Colton Landreth hasn't fared any better than Patrick McKnight did. So for the second consecutive inning, the Wildcats have batted around. So 1-2, 2 out. So 7 runs scored in each of the second and third inning. The 1-2 pitch is a little off the plate, and that makes it even again, 2-2. To Austin Blatnick. Blatnick in this inning, he walked, scored a run. He's also 1 for 1 on the day, been on base twice, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. And everyone except leadoff man Sam Lee Curtis has scored for the Wildcats today. That pitch, check swing, and they'll say no swing, Jock Bolton down the first base line. And the next pitch, swung on and missed, and this inning mercifully over for the Alameda Merchants as the Wildcats get 7 runs on 4 base hits, an error, and they leave one as we go to the bottom of the third inning, 14-0 Auburn. Cash Satnett to lead things off as he deals the first pitch, does Hayden Piner, and he misses low and outside. It's 1-0. So Satnett just now getting his first at-bat. The rest of the, or as I should say, the entire Auburn Wildcats team has batted through 3 times already. But Satnett batting for the first time. And that's a strike. It's 1-1. And the next pitch, Satnett swings and fouls that one down the left field line and out of play. So Satnett up. And the next pitch is in the dirt. And it is 1-2. So 2-2, and the pitch is a bit low, and the count now goes to 3-2. So Hayden Piner today only allowed 1 base hit so far, 2 strikeouts and a walk. And the next pitch swung on and missed, so 3rd strikeout of the game for Hayden Piner as Satnett goes down, and back to the top of the order to Billy Johnson. So Billy Johnson up. Johnson was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Stole second, made it all the way to third on the throwing error from Taylor Field, but otherwise was stranded there. So 14-0 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats as Billy Johnson trying to get aboard here. The next pitch is a bit high, and it is 2-0. And the next pitch is a bit off the plate, 3-0. So 3-0, and here's the pitch. Right down the middle for a strike, and it's 3-1. So Luke Huerta on deck. And the next pitch, that's going to be grounded just softly over to first, picking it up and taking it to the bag himself, Davis Rodrigo, and that's the second out. So that'll bring up Luke Huerta. So Huerta up. And the next pitch in there for a strike, and it is 0-1. So the next pitch on its way, and it's a bit high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. As we're in the bottom of the third inning with the Wildcats already lead 14-0. The next pitch, that's lined up the middle for a base hit. So Luke Huerta with what is only the second base hit of the game so far for the Merchants, 2-out single. And that'll bring up Michael Echavia. So Echavia with a runner at first and 2 out. And the next pitch. And swung on and missed. It's no balls and 1 strike. So that's going to be a grounder over to first, and Davis Rodrigo taking it to the bag himself for the second time this inning, and that'll end the inning. So the Merchants get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 person left. We go to the top of the fourth. It is 14-0 Auburn. Sam Lee Curtis to start things off, the normal leadoff guy, already batting for the 4th time today. We're just heading into the 4th inning. This goes to show how well the Wildcat offense has been. They lead 14-0 over the Alameda Merchants. Sam Lee Curtis, believe it or not, is 0 for 3. And, of course, he came into the game with a .437 batting average. So that's a little surprising that he has yet to participate in the hit parade. The only guy in the starting lineup that has not scored a run yet. So he's looking to get on base and change that. That's going to be lined into left center field for base hit and hit the gap. And making a nice running catch. That was out of nowhere. Was Billy Johnson. Really has great speed. That looked like it was going into the gap and going to be an extra base hit, but he really sprinted toward that one, did Billy Johnson, and that's the first out. Not an easy play, and he had to pick it up right off the bat, and he did just that to make the catch and the out. So Taylor Garcia up with 1 out. And the next pitch, a breaking ball across for a strike, and it is 0-1. So Colton Landreth in his second inning of work. And the next pitch, it's popped up on the right side of the infield, and calling for it, making the catch, is Byron Buckley, and that's the second out. So the opposite turn of events here in this fourth inning, as Alameda so far setting down the Wildcats. So the first pitch to Joyce is inside, and it is 1-0. And the next pitch in there for a strike, and it is 0-1. And the next pitch, a little nubber down to shortstop. Hit a little harder than I thought off the bat. Either way, making the throw over to first in time is Dakota Connors, and that ends the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for the Alameda Merchants and Colton Landreth, and that was after they batted around in the Wildcats the last 2 innings. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 14-0 Wildcat. Michael Jenkinson to lead off the inning for the Alameda Merchants. They trail by 14, however, here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Hayden Piner going into his fourth inning of work. And that's going to be lined up the middle for base hits. So Michael Jenkinson gets things started off on a positive note in the fourth inning for the Merchants. That'll bring up Dakota Connors. Dakota Connors, 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning, trying to pick up his runner. And the first pitch is a bit high and inside, and it's 1-0. So Taylor Field keeping an eye on Michael Jenkinson over there. Don't have any numbers on him, so we're not sure exactly the speed he has, but he is taking a decent lead off first base. That's going to be a fly ball, shallow center field, and having a play on it and making the catch on it is Sam Lee Curtis, and that's the first out. So a fly out to center by Connors, and that'll bring up Byron Buckley. So Buckley up. Buckley, 1 for 1, singled in the second inning, but was picked off on an outstanding throw by Taylor Field. And the first pitch is a bit off the plate. It's 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, and the next pitch is in there, and it's 1-1. One and one as Buckley trying to add on to this inning, and that's a throw over to first instead, and back in time is Jenkinson. And the next pitch going on it is Jenkinson. The pitch looked like it was a little inside. Throw down to second, not in time. So Jenkinson steals second. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike the count to Byron Buckley, who has a runner in scoring position to possibly drive in. It's only the second time they've gotten a runner to second base all game long for the Merchants. And the next pitch swung on and fouled back. And it is 2-2. And the next pitch swung on and fouled away. We'll do it again at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, says Hayden Piner. On the next pitch, and the left-hander deals a bit outside. It's a full count now, 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out here. And the next pitch is a bit off the plate, ball 4. And it's now first and second with 1 out, and they'll bring up Larry Cowart. First pitch a bit low, and it's 1-0. And the next pitch, and it's swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. So 1-1 the count. And the next pitch going on it is going to be Jenkinson, and the pitch is in the dirt anyway, so it'll be a stolen base for Jenkinson. And Byron Buckley advances to second on the wild pitch because he was not going on it. So stolen base for Jenkinson, but no stolen base for Buckley. It is a wild pitch. So 2 stolen bases for Jenkinson, and it's now second and third, 1 out, and a chance for Larry Cowart to put some runs on the board for the Merchants. Next pitch is inside. And the count goes to 3-1. And the next pitch, 3-1, and that's going to be a fly ball into center field. Curtis is there, makes the catch, and the runners have to hold. A strong throw home as Jenkinson decided not to go, and wisely so, as he would have been out by a lot, and that's because of the strong throw from Curtis. So Fly ball to center, and that'll bring up Colt Partial. So the Merchants, even though they have had very few opportunities, they haven't been able to take advantage of them. And the next pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner, and it is 0-1. And the strike one pitch. That's going to be a grounder up the middle. Backhand, it's going to go through. Two of the middle infielders tried to backhand it, went through him, and Curtis is going to overrun it, and that allows Partial to get to second base. So 2 RBIs plus an error on the single by Colt Partial. So it'll be E8 to account for Partial making it to second. Otherwise, 2 runs come in and 2 RBIs credited to Partial. And it's now 14-2 in favor of Auburn, excuse me. So Satmet stepping in, and the first pitch is outside. It's 1-0. So the Merchants able to get on the board here in the bottom of the 4th inning, but they still trail by 12, 14-2. And the next pitch is a strike, and it is 1-1. And the next pitch, that's going to be grounded up the middle for a base hit. They're going to wave around Partial. I know they're going to stop him there. He went around and then slammed on the brakes and retreated back to third. So another single by Cash Satnet. And it's now first and third with 2 out, and that'll bring up Billy Johnson. There is a pitcher warming in the bullpen, so it looks like his manager is going to go out at least to talk with him, as Ken Valencia, the Auburn Wildcats manager, going out to talk to his pitcher, Hayden Piner. Again, there is some activity in the Wildcat bullpen, but it doesn't look like he's coming out. So Piner, 2 runs on 5 hits so far that he's given up today, along with 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. So Billy Johnson, after that long meeting concludes, back at it again. First and third and 2 out. The next pitch in the dirt, and Taylor Field there, nice save to keep the runner from coming in and scoring. So 1-0 the count. That's a strike on the changeup. It's 1-1. And the next pitch swung on and missed, and it's 1-2 to Billy Johnson. So the 1-2. Swung on and hit in the air into left field. It's carrying into foul ground, and it's going to land out of play. High off the fence behind the batting cage. So we'll still do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Billy Johnson. The 1-2. Inside, and the count goes even. So Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strike, 2 out, 2-1, and 2 win here in the bottom of the 4th inning, 14-2 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. The next pitch swung on and grounded foul toward the first base dugout, and once again it's 2-2. So Hayden Piner's now up to 85 pitches. 50 of them have been for strikes. And the next pitch is high and outside, and the count goes full. It's 3-2. And the next pitch, and it's off the plate, ball 4. Runner was going on the pitch, but it's ball 4 anyway, so that loads the bases for Luke Huerta. It looks like we'll have a pitching change, so Hayden Piner loads the bases, is going to come out of the game. And looking at his final line, he's gone 3 2/3 innings, allowed 5 base hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, along with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. And we'll get a new pitcher into the game, so we'll tell you who he is right after this. So Austin Spainhauer to coming in relief of Hayden Piner, and the first pitch is off the plate. It's 1-0. So Hayden Piner made it 3 2/3 innings, and now it's Austin Spainhauer. And the next pitch is swung on and fouled away, and that evens things up at 1-1. So Spainhauer in relief, trying to shut things down without any further damage. And the next pitch looks like a little low, 2-1. And timeout called after that pitch, so he's going to switch out his bat, it looks like, is Luke Huerta. Huerta's 1 for 2. He popped out to short and single, and hoping to get another single here to cut into this 14-2 lead. The next pitch, a grounder up the middle, although nice backhand at second. Making a good play over there was Taylor Garcia. Makes the throw to first in time, and the inning is over. But not before the Alameda Merchants able to get 2 runs on 3 base hits, no errors, or 1 error, excuse me, and they leave 3 as we go to the top of the 5th inning, 14-2, Auburn. Jack Vesey to start things off, a slow check swing, a grounder out to third, and making a nice throw to first is Colt Partial for the first out. So Vesey doesn't hang around too long. It's what they call an excuse me swing, changes his mind mid-swing, and just kind of a check swing, slow roller to Partial, 1 away, and that'll bring up Jake Faulkner. So Faulkner up. And the first pitch is a bit low, and it's 1-0. So 1-0 the count to Jake Faulkner. Faulkner hasn't had an official at-bat yet today, even though he's scored 2 runs. Hit by a pitch twice and walked. 0 for 0 on the day, but 2 runs scored. The next pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled back, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch. It's grounded foul down the third base line. So once again, it's 1-2. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. After the Auburn Wildcats scored 14 runs, 7 each in the second and third innings, they've had 4 in a row retire. The next pitch swung on and fouled back, and we'll do it again, 1-2. So Colton Landreth having much more success. He was roughed up early on, but had a lot more success. Swung on and missed by Faulkner. Down he goes. So a strikeout for Landreth. And for Landreth, that's his second strikeout of the game. So Kyle Dixon steps in, and the first pitch a bit low. It's 1-0. So yeah, give credit to Colton Landreth, who, while struggling, so Dixon, 1-1 the count, and it's swung on and missed, and it's now 1-2. And the next pitch, swung on and fouled back, and it's still 1-2. And the next pitch on the way, and it is a bit low and outside, so Deuce is wild now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. No one on here in the top of the 5th inning, as Landreth a strike away from setting him down in order again. That's a pop-up, shallow center field. Going out on making the catch is going to be second baseman Luke Huerta for the 3rd out, and the inning is over. So 6 in a row retired. Actually, 7 in a row if you go to the last out of the 3rd inning. So 7 in a row retired by Colton Landreth. And at the end of 4.5 innings, 14-2 Wildcats. Michael Echavia to lead things off for the Alameda Merchants in the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing by 12, 14-2. The next pitch, fly ball into left field. Faulkner is there, makes the catch, and that is the first out. Well, he doesn't catch it. Wow, it kind of just fell in. I thought he had catch. He just looked like he nonchalantly went up, and I was going to mark it down, and it just fell right in front of him. I have no idea why, but that's a leadoff base hit for a shot. That should have been an out. So Jacobson coming up. Yeah, I assume that. Again, don't assume anything in baseball, right? I saw him kind of drifting over to the ball, and it just landed in front of him. As I was going to mark that, it was a fly out, but nope, a single. Now a hit batter to Michael Jenkinson. So first and second with nobody out. So Austin Spainhour having some struggles here after he was able to escape unscathed otherwise. I don't know, maybe Faulkner lost it in the sun or something. Either way, first and second, nobody out after the single that looked like it was going to be caught but wasn't. And a hit batter to Michael Jenkinson, and Dakota Connors up. So Dakota Connors, who's 0 for 2, struck out, flew out to center, is up, trying to help Alameda get some runs across. Next pitch, that's going to be lined into right center field for a base hit. Playing it on a hop in right field. And they're going to hold the runners and almost get him at second. They almost got Jenkinson at second as he rounded second wide, and they went to second instead since they had the runner held anyway. As Austin Blatnick knew to play it on a hop and went immediately to second and almost got Jenkinson. So first 3 batters reach base here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No one throwing in the Wildcat bullpen, so Spainhour is out there for the time being at least. And I'll bring up Byron Buckley. So Buckley up. And the next pitch is a bit outside, 1-0. So bases loaded and nobody out as the Merchants looking for a big inning here. So the next pitch, and it's a bit outside. It's 2-0. So behind in the count is Spainhour, and he's in danger of either walking the bases loaded or serving something down the strike zone to avoid walking the bases loaded. That swung on and missed on a changeup. Really pulled something off that one. Did Spainhour buckling in front of it. It's 2-1. So 2-1, and here's the pitch, and it's outside, and it's 3-1. And the next pitch is in the dirt. That walks in a run. So ball 4, and it's now 14-3 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. Scoring on the play is Michael Echavia. So Larry Cowart stepping in, and another conversation between Taylor Field and his pitcher, Austin Spainhour. So Spainhour gives up a run. As Larry Cowart taking his warm-up swings as the conversation concludes. And Larry Cowart, 1 for 2. Made it all the way to third after advancing on a base hit, then an error, and another single, but otherwise was stranded there. Next pitch is spit outside. 1 ball and no strikes. So Larry Cowart, bases loaded, nobody out, trying to drive in a few more runs. It's swung on and missed to even things up. It's 1-1. Good changeup by Spainhour. So he has a pretty good changeup that really varies against the fastball very well, so that can be difficult for the hitters to pick up on. Swung on and missed again, back with the fastball, and it's 1-2. So if Spainhour can keep mixing up his pitches, at least mixing up the speeds like he is, he can have a lot more success. But he has to be in control of where they go. The 1-2 pitch waved out and missed by Cowart. Down he goes. And that's the first strikeout for Spainhour in the first out of this 5th inning. So Colt Partial up. Partial 1 for 2. And that's a pop fly into shallow center field. Coming up to make the play is Curtis, tagging and then retreating, wisely so, is Michael Jankerson, as Curtis with another strong throw in, and that keeps the bases loaded, now 2 out. So Colt Partial flies out to center field, but not deep enough to bring anyone in. So Cash Satnet. And Satnet takes the pitch off the plate, 1-0. And the next pitch, that's going to be a slow grounder out to second. Picking it up is Garcia, and throws the first in time to end the inning. So bases loaded, nobody out. They're only able to get a run out of it, as Alameda otherwise is retired without any further damage. It'll be 1 run on 2 base hits, no errors, and 3 left as we go to the top of the 6th inning, 14-3 in favor of the Auburn Wildcats. Taylor Field to lead off the top of the sixth inning here at the Arcata Ballpark. Game 1 of the Humble Invitational Tournament. Field takes a strike and it's 0-1. So Taylor Field, 3 for 3. So he batted twice in the second inning, singled, and then scored a run. And also had a 3 RBI double. Was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. That's going to be a slow grounder to third as Partial picks it up, throws to first in time, and Field is retired. So 8 in a row retired by Colton Landreth. So Landreth came in, was roughed up a bit after he allowed some inherited base runners to score. Also gave up a couple more, but since then has really settled down in the first pitch off the plate, 1-0. And the next pitch, a grounder to short. Nice play by Dakota Connors in time to make the out at first to retire Davis Rodigo. And there's quickly 2 outs, so 9 in a row retired by Landreth. So Blatnick up and takes a strike at someone. Yeah, too little too late if you're the Alameda Merchants, as since that third inning, they have a 3-0 lead since the third inning. But, of course, baseball is a 9-inning ball game, and it was 14-0 after that third inning. And then the Merchants able to get 3 since then while keeping any Wildcats from reaching base. Next pitch is a bit low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 and 2. And it's a bit low, so count goes even. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. No one on here in the top of the 6th inning. 14-3 in favor of the Wildcats. The next pitch in the dirt, and the count goes full. 3 and 2. And the next pitch, just a bit low, ball 4. So that breaks the string of retired batters. And we're back to the top of the order to Sam Lee Curtis. So Curtis, not only is he hitless so far, surprisingly, although that last ball he hit to left center field, great job by Billy Johnson to track it down on a ball that, for most left fielders, would have gone past and into the gap, but Sam Lee Curtis, instead of fly out for him, and that's a strike, and it's 0-1. The only guy in the Wildcat lineup not to score a run today. So 0 for 4, Sam Curtis, as the next pitch is inside, and it's 1-1. So Colton Landreth, as he deals the next pitch, and it's swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Landreth now has pitched 3 full innings, allowing 2 earned runs, 3 total, and 2 base hits so far. Otherwise, 2 strikeouts and a walk as a reliever. And the next pitch, swung on, just getting a piece of it, fouling it back is Curtis, and it's still 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 out. And here we go, and that's going to be a 1-hopper to second. Huerta bobbles it. It's going to try to tag the runner going by, but loses the ball. And since I'll say that's a base hit just because it's not an error if you can't hold on to the ball and applying a tag. So actually, it's not a base hit, actually. It's not a base hit. It's a fielder's choice. So fielder's choice, but he's safe at second. So fielder's choice, 4 unassisted, and he's safe at first and second. And the next pitch to Taylor Garcia is fouled away. It's 0-1. That's a strike right there, and it is 0-2. Yeah, fielder, even if the runner is safe at, say, second or third, it still counts as a fielder's choice just because the fielder did have the opportunity to get you out if he so chose to. And that's why they call it a fielder's choice. The strike 2 pitch is lined down the right field line. Carrying foul is going to land untouched, and it's still 0-2. So 0-2. That's going to be a grounder into the hole. Backhanded by Connors. Long throw to first in time to get him. Nice play as Connors able to retire Garcia to end the inning. So the Wildcats, no runs, no hits, no errors. They leave 2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 14-3 Wildcats. Billy Johnson to lead things off here in the top or the bottom of the 6th inning, and he fouls away the first pitch. It's 0-1. Johnson, the regular leadoff guy, is 0 for 1, hit by a pitch, grounded to first, and walked. The strike 1 pitch swung on and fouled away, and it's quickly in the hole now, 0-2. So 1-2 pitch. That's going to be a grounder into the hole in the right field. Garcia picking it up is going to throw wide and aboard first safely. It's going to be a base hit. He probably would have beat it out anyway. So base hit, Billy Johnson, an infield single. And for the third consecutive inning, the Merchants have gotten their leadoff man on base. They've gotten 3 runs out of it, but they really could have gotten a lot more. So Luke Huerta, and the pitch is inside. It's 1-0. That's a strike and a throw down to first, and back in time is Johnson. So Billy Johnson's got a lot of speed. They're really keeping an eye on him, having to dive back, and he did just so.
If you look to the bottom right where the fielders are, it'll show the little icon of the ball where it was hit, but it won't say so in the text.
Pitch is fouled away, and it's 1-2. Yeah, we're experimenting here at the ballpark, and we're not officially having it at the moment, but we're having pitch-by-pitch software with live stat updates and all that we're kind of experimenting with, and it's really cool. Liam Warner, the scoreboard operator, that pitch is going to hit Luke Huerta, so it's first and second now with 2 outs. So, yeah, this is really neat. So we're hoping to maybe implement it through the rest of the tournament on an official basis, but, yeah, we got a live pitch-by-pitch tracker that automatically updates the stats. Great stuff. And the next pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-1. So the 1-1 pitch, and that's hit foul down the right field line and carries out of play. It's 1-2.